Plaintiff Shanice Christopher says she and the defendant were really good friends until the defendant started dating a 40-year-old drug dealer. Shanice claims despite the fact that the defendant was a former drug addict, her boyfriend fed her prescription pills like they were candy, and Shanice is suing her former friend for rent and a security deposit. Defendant Nicole Brady says she and Shanice were inseparable, and once she started dating her boyfriend, she stopped spending time with Shanice, and that's why she believes she's being sued. Nicole denies owing Shanice for anything, and she's countersuing for car damages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, so just to give you a little background of how we came to this position, Nicole and I were really good friends until she got involved with the 40-year-old drug dealer. That's when this all happened.
Can I interrupt? Your Honor, the only reason we're here today is because Shanice is jealous of my boyfriend Ernie, the relationship that me and him have. Me and Shanice used to be like joined at the hip. And as soon as I got a boyfriend, you know, I didn't come around as much, and I wasn't always around her. She doesn't have any other friends in Colorado. That's why she's doing this. How do you know
she's jealous?
Well, I just know the type of person that Shanice is.
All right, so describe. Prove what you're saying. You're saying the woman is jealous of you and your boyfriend.
Okay, she's jealous.
I happen to think that she can do all right for herself.
Okay, she would call me and yell at me, you know, when I wasn't home, if I wasn't there.
I don't like your boyfriend. He's too good looking, or you're whatever, and therefore, what did she say about your boyfriend?
She doesn't like him. She hasn't liked him since the day she met him, before she even knew him.
What has she said about him?
She says that exactly what you just heard. She says he's a drug dealer, that he's a 40-year-old man who has done nothing with.
That doesn't sound like jealousy. That sounds like concern for her friend.
But it's not the truth.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, it's not true?
No, it's not
the
the
truth. Well, ma'am, you proved to me that what you say is true about her boyfriend.
I have a witness statement from my mother who came in July who witnessed the drug activity.
She used to buy from me? What? I mean, how do you know? How does she know?
I actually have two.
No, I'm just making you all prove your point. That's all.
He actually came to her and asked her if she wanted to get high. And
see? Y'all think I was?
It's in the statement. It's in the statement right there.
And then what?
That's my proof right there.
Did your mother buy or say no?
No, she didn't.
Nicole was aware of the problems with her car, but this is about a car, ma'am. You read to me about this drug allegation.
There's two parts in here. It says, as quoted by my mother, there is drug-related activity at the back of the house where Nicole established a relationship with Ernie. Ernie, who asked if I wanted to get high when she was sitting outside smoking a cigarette.
He didn't ask if she wanted to buy any. One more comment about this, and then we're getting to the rent. Go ahead.
Okay, on behalf of her mother moved here from California because she lost everything that she had, and she was moving into my bedroom that I was giving up for her because she had nothing left, because she had a drug problem of her own. And there was a couple occasions that when Shanice was at work, her mother came and knocked on my door and said, "Nikki, if you need," and she was in tears, and said, "Nikki, if you need me, I will talk. I will go on behalf of you for court."
Sure,
because I see the way Shanice is treating you. I see what she did. She's doing the same thing to me.
So she told you that, and she sent a letter.
Right.
Who gave her a hit? That's what I'm going to believe. All right, well, I don't believe neither one of you. She's not going to lie unless she's getting a hit for lying. Go ahead, ma'am. What else do you want to tell me before we get to this rent?
Okay, well, he was also at the time giving her OxyContin and Percocet, which she had told me she was previously addicted to in Florida. So this concerned me. This is right off the bat why I didn't like him. I was trying to protect her from her previous addiction. He was handing her these prescription pills not prescribed to her like candy, like he was her candy man.
And where exactly is he getting them from? It got out of hand. It was going on in the house. And, I came out to Colorado.
The house that you all rented together?
Yes.
Okay.
And I came out to Colorado.
When did you all become roommates?
We became roommates in May of this year.
Okay. And who all lived there?
It was myself, Nicole, and my boyfriend Jeremy.
And what about Brian, the guy who slept on the couch?
And also Brian, the guy who slept on the couch.
Who was he associated with?
He's one of Jeremy's friends.
My friend.
And the guy on the couch wasn't paying anything.
How many ways was the rent split?
It was split 50-50.
50-50 doesn't make sense if there's
Thank
four
you.
people.
It was-
Thank you.
What do you mean?
It was split between me and Jeremy and Nicole.
You just
So
said
how
it was
does that
split
work?
between the three of you.
Yeah.
State your name.
I'm Jeremy Demani. I'm her boyfriend. At the time that we got the apartment, I was working. I was working just about 45, 50 hours a week.
Oh, good. So you all started out
Yes.
splitting it three ways.
Exactly.
How much did you pay?
Okay.
3 ways is
basically
$750.
$375. It wasn't split 3 ways. It was split right in half.
Okay, why did you say it was 3 ways? Sit down. You've discredited your testimony. Let's get to the rent. How does she owe you for rent, ma'am?
Okay, well, as clearly stated in our lease, we are held liable. It's a legal document. We are binded
No
for...
stuff. Go ahead, ma'am.
We're held through May of 2011, and I have mine and her signature on this lease.
Okay.
It's per Colorado law.
All right.
And you know what had happened was she started paying at her own leisure. She wouldn't pay on time. She would pay towards the end of the month. Yet she had
What are
money.
you over there nodding his head about? You got a lot of nerve. You in the bedroom, your boy on the couch. You all got her paying half, and you over there, yep. Go ahead, ma'am. So how many payments did she miss?
She paid for May and June. She paid the $375 each month.
She failed to pay $375 for the month of July.
Correct. She didn't pay the total amount. And I actually have
How
a
much
paper.
did she pay for July?
She paid $171.
Okay, so
Before
what is
she
her
left.
balance for July?
It'd be $204.
Okay, and what about the security deposit?
Security deposit, she paid $200.
All right, and you paid the landlord the full amount of the deposit.
I gave, what do you mean?
God have mercy. Ma'am, let me hear from you.
The agreement was that me, Shanice, and Jeremy were going to be splitting the bills 3 ways.
That's not true.
So,
That's what he was saying at first.
right, exactly.
But then he
right.
changed it.
So when we get, once
So
we
I'm
have,
inclined to believe you.
okay.
You didn't change your story.
Okay, so once we have we have the house now, and she paid her part of the deposit. The deposit we only put down was she put down $250. I didn't have money at the time for the deposit because I was just starting my new job. The $250 I ended up paying when I got my check.
You paid her $250?
Yeah, I paid everything to her, thinking
When?
she was
When?
May of 10.
Okay, so you say you paid $250 to her.
Right for
And
the.
you say that's not true?
That's not true. Where's the receipts? I have all the receipts
Okay,
for
I don't
exactly.
know where the receipt is. Why
Okay,
you
Judge.
asking me?
Judge, the
Oh,
reason there's no
you
receipt.
want to know from her where the receipts are.
Yeah, where are the receipts
And
at?
you-
I have
paid
the
you.
receipts.
I paid
young lady, did you ever receive a receipt from her for
No, sir.
anything?
Never for anything.
So those receipts you're showing is from whom?
It's from me and Jeremy to our landlord.
I have a letter here from my landlord, if you'd like to read it, proving that I've paid all my rent.
Ma'am, what do you
And
say
I would-
about this letter?
He told me that he was giving her this statement. Well, he told me that he was going to write it for her or whatever. And he actually never sat down with the 3 of us, me, Jeremy, and Nicole, and discussed that she would be released from the lease. He never wrote us a new lease
You
agreement.
said you talked to him about it.
I talked to him about it because I
So-
wanted her out of the house because she wasn't
Ma'am,
paying.
hold on. Let me remind you of what you just said 10 seconds ago. I spoke with the landlord about the letter he was writing. So you did speak with the landlord about her getting out of the lease.
No, we did not.
She said she did.
You could have contradicted when you
She
talked
said
to
she
him.
did. I'm not crazy. I just heard what she said. The letter says she is dismissed from the residential lease agreement on July 7th. So she owed you 7 days for July. And $375 divided by 30 days is what?
$12.50 a day.
Multiply that by 7.
$87.50.
$87.50 is what you owe in rent, ma'am. Now, let's get to the security deposit. You claim you gave her $250, so we're only talking about $50 difference. I'll grant you that. And that would be
137.
137.50. Ma'am, you're suing for car damages. How
Yes,
does she
sir.
owe you?
Well, when Shanice and I were living together, her and Jeremy had an old truck. It was an old pickup truck, and I had a little Saturn. So Shanice worked like an hour and a half away. So I offered to let her use my car under the understanding that she knew she had to put water
How
and oil
long did she
in it.
use it?
She used it probably for at least a good month, every
And
single
what
day.
happened to your car?
Well, she drove it until the head gasket blew. It was overheating. She wasn't putting water or oil in it.
All right.
Jeremy
You
calls me.
spoke to her, and what did she say?
She didn't say anything. She didn't
just was
apologize.
quiet.
Yes.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
I swear to God, she was quiet.
All right.
She
Why
didn't
don't
say
you
anything.
ask her again? Why don't you put him out?
Yeah.
Get him out. He keeps interrupting.
So ask
Go
her
ahead.
again.
Uh-huh.
Ask her again. Shanice, are you going to pay for the damages to my car?
No,
Since
I
you
didn't
had my
damage your car.
When did you use the car?
I started using the car maybe in the end of June.
Was it operating properly?
Yes, it was.
It was operating properly.
It
When
had-
you returned it to her, was there anything wrong?
It had overheating problems when she had, upon receiving the car and upon me
You said it was operating fine, so make up your mind.
It was still running, but it had problems.
And you continued to drive it even though it had problems?
Yes.
Do you have the estimate for the repairs?
I do. And here's
How much is it?
$1,000.
$1,336.76 is your judgment, ma'am. You should have stopped driving that car when you received it and the radiator was overheating. You had a responsibility to either stop driving it or give it back. You don't drive someone's car if they give it to you and there's something already wrong with it. In fact, ma'am, I'm going to deduct some of the radiator. This radiator charge of $130 and the radiator cap for $5. How much is that?
1202.
Your judgment is $1,202. I'm not going to require her to pay for a radiator.
I'll
You gave it
accept
to
that.
her damaged.
I'll accept
However,
that.
she had the responsibility of knowing when a car is smoking and the radiator is having problems, you don't continue to drive it. That is negligence. Have a good day, folks.
I think she's just jealous because I have a lot of friends that come over and she has no friends, so she's a lonely person.
Sure.
She's a lonely person.
All
so-
your friends are drug addicts, dude.
The
Who
only
are you to talk?
Okay. Where's your proof?
Where's yours?